Hey guys, I'm Matt. Welcome back to RR Aquariums. Today we're going to be talking about how I mix up salt for doing a water change. Really, I know I say this a lot, but the most important thing to any tank is the water quality. And especially with saltwater where you're dealing with corals and fish that, really rely on what's in the water compared to a lot of times with freshwater and stuff. So, mixing up the salt is definitely a very important part of it, and you definitely want to do your water changes on salt water. I mean, 10% weekly, 15% is better, but definitely try and do it every week. It really does make a big difference in your coral growth and just overall healthiness of your fish and your tank. So anyway, let's get started. Basically what I have here is a bucket with measurements on it. I got this at Home Depot, I've seen them at Lowe's, really any place. They're usually in the paint section, and they have not only marks for liters, but also gallons, and that's great for being able to figure out exactly how many gallons you have in your bucket, which is very important when measuring out the salt. Now, the salt mix. I use Instant Ocean. It's a pretty common brand. I think you can get it just about anywhere in the world. Well, any place that sells fish stuff, basically, usually carries Instant Ocean. And I personally get mine in bulk from Drs. Foster and Smith. That's the cheapest place I've found it. I buy the big boxes that do 200 gallons a piece, and it works out to being about $11 per bag that does 50 gallons, so it's really way cheaper than any place I've found it locally. And some of the other things I have that just make it easier, they're not 100% required, but it does make it go a lot faster and a lot easier, is a power head or a pump of some type that can move the water around and circulate it. That'll help the salt dissolve really fast, so that's good. This is not optional here, which is just a measuring cup, half cup, which is, if you're doing bigger portions, you know, they have other measurements on the box there for what you can mix up different gallon size and stuff, but I usually just mix it up by the gallon in this 5-gallon bucket or whatever, and this is the instructions that I have cut out and used. But basically 1/2 cup of Instant Ocean does 1 gallon, and it will make it at a specific gravity of, I believe, 1.022, which is a little bit lower than I like to keep my tank because I have the corals, but as you can see in the tank back here, there's a little bit of not condensation. Anyways, there's a little bit of, it's a little bit low right now from water, condensating off and whatnot, so it really evens out nicely. But anyways, so basically if you want to make it the salt more, you just add a little bit more of the mix. It's not really rocket science or anything. So, and then the last thing that I have here that makes it a lot easier, and I did a review on this, if you want to check that out, this makes mixing up salt so much easier. It's a refractometer, and basically, get a closer look at it here, basically you put a few droplets on here and click your lid down, look through the hole here into the light, and it tells you the specific gravity of your water. Now, I know a lot of people use hydrometers, and they're definitely a lot cheaper. I mean, you can get them for about $8 to $10, and that was I believe $30. I got it from Bull Creek Supply, but definitely happy I got it. It makes this a whole lot easier. So anyways, let's get started. Basically right now in here I have about 3.5 gallons. So I'm going to take 3.5 of these or so, or about there. Again, it's not super necessary that you get right on, just as long as you're in that area. Generally I like to do a little less than what I think I might need, so I can adjust, I can add more later on. Better to be less than what you need than way over what you need. So that's 3, and just a little bit here, a little bit more. Okay, and 1/2, basically. So, got that in there. Got all my, alright, so that's in. Next, I'm going to take my power head here, got a nice big one, and just going to drop it right in there. Not even going to connect it to anything. Hook it up to my power here. And now, people are going to, different people do it for different lengths of time. I like to do it overnight if possible, or at least let it sit for 4 or 5 hours. After the first hour, I check it with a refractometer to see what salinity it's at. If it's a little bit low, I add a little bit more salt, or if it's a little bit too high, in that case I add a little bit more water. Now, something I should have covered at the beginning of this anyways is the water that you're starting with, which is fresh water, obviously. A lot of new beginners, and I definitely did this, and I kind of regret doing it, start out with non-RODI water. If you don't know what RODI water is, it's reverse osmosis deionized water, I think. You can look it up. There's lots of videos on it, what exactly it is. And basically, I have one now. I got a unit after a month, and I finally decided I was just going to do it, because I did have a lot of algae in the tank, still do have quite a bit, actually, that I'm trying to work on getting rid of. But basically, RODI water is 100% pure water. It brings in nothing that might, cause excess nutrients, and which cause the algae blooms and whatnot. So definitely would suggest looking into getting one of those, or at least some type of filtering system that filters the water down some, especially if you're in an area where you're running off of wells, or where you have high iron content in your water. Definitely look into getting one of those. I bought mine, my RODI unit, at Bulk Reef Supply, and I think I'm going to do a Friday review on that, possibly next Friday or the Friday after that. But so keep an eye out for that if you want to know more, or Google it. Definitely watch as many videos as you can. With anything, in this hobby, definitely just do as much research on it as you can. So that's basically the fresh water I'm starting with. It's 100% pure water, and good salt mix. I mean, I've heard people argue that other salt mixes are better than Instant Ocean, this, that, but after trying a few different ones, I really haven't noticed that much of a difference in any of them. And same thing with a lot of people that I've talked to, that have been doing it for a long time. They've tried different ones, and there's not really that big of a difference when you're talking, just your basic salt mix. So it's not super difficult if you got the right equipment and you just kind of do some research ahead of time. So that's pretty much it for this video. Good luck, have fun reefing, and catch you next time.